Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV. Did you miss us? I don't think you did, because we've been busy. We've been all over the airwaves the past week or two here. It's been kicking this winter season off with a big bang. Shout out to everybody watching at home on the YouTube, on the Facebook, on the Twitch. We're on Twitter as well, x.com/Vidane TV. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, a share, all the social media outlets. Let your friends and family know that you're watching a little bit of iRacing action here on a Thursday night, because it is NEPs night in America, baby. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth. Ron, Aaron Creed alongside me, as always, on a Thursday night. Aaron, how we feeling tonight, brother?
We're feeling good. We're at Oxford Plains Speedway tonight, and this is going to be a good one. A lot of drivers that are racing tonight call Oxford Plains Speedway their home track. So it's always a place it's a very unique place. We were talking about that before we came on the air. As you can see, no walls outside of the turns. Kind of from that view, it almost looks like there's reverse banking. So like a lot of the outside groove kind of comes in here sometimes, and what they call the Angels Expressway sometimes comes in. So we'll see if that happens tonight. But first, we had some really tight qualifying, didn't we, Paul?
Indeed, we did. You can see the top 12 right there on your screen within a tenth of a second. That's unheard of here with the NEP series. These guys very, very tight qualified here. Jason Ricker going to start on the pole with a 15.440, blistering fast lap time. Reggie Parent there on the outside of row number one.
Yeah, and row number two, we see Ryan Messer. And we see, it says John West Davis, but I think that's Spencer Davis running in the number 21. It'll be his first start this year, I think. And he's run the at Oxford 250 a couple times. If that's who we're talking about.
Indeed, it could be. We'll try and get some clarification on that from race officials. Back behind them, John Peters coming back after missing a week last week. Here going to start P5. And how about Dale Earnhardt Glessner going to roll off P6 in that number 10 ride?
Yeah, and then row number, as we go further down, row number 4, Ryan Libby looking for some redemption after a tough break last week. And John Miller starts in 8th, another main runner. And then row number 5, we have Michigan's Kenny Kibbe and Brent Roy rounding out the top 10.
Here you see Zane Farrell just on the outside, rolling off P11. Zane's up in 5th in the point standing. Ryan Messer, after finishing outside the top 10 last week, dropped a couple of points, still holding on to the points lead by 2 points over Kenny Kibbe. So very, very tight points battle as we get into this one. Steve Daddio finished 2nd last week. He's going to roll off P12.
And as we go even deeper into the field, Mike Hopkins, Corey Casagrande. Corey's run a couple times at Oxford. There you see row number 8, Jeffrey Bradway, one of our top rookies this year, and Evan Boyer, another main racer.
Dan Winter's going to roll that 81 car off P17. DJ Gerard in the double aught. He's going to roll off 18th. Colby Burkholder, one of the rookie contenders this year, rolling off P19. Cody LeBlanc, Adam Hendry, Scott McDonald, Bobby and Brian Shipp back in 23rd and 24th. And a couple of late arrivals to the track here. Austin Belke, Jeffrey Brown, David Root, and Brandon Newhouse going to round out the 28 drivers going to roll off here at Oxford Plains. 150 laps on the docket. And it's all built by Casagrande Builders from Stafford Springs. Great to see those guys jumping on board, supporting the series that Corey and Kyle run here on a Thursday night. And it's hard to think this is the 5th season we've been doing this whole NEP thing. We were talking about it a little bit last night after the Turn 4 podcast winter series, running some late models last night. That was a great race. You can check that race out on demand over on the YouTube page. And man, oh man, we've got some crazy stuff going on here in the real racing world and the sim racing world. We'll touch on it just a little bit here throughout the evening, but man, oh man, there goes the pace car going down to the infield. We are going to get the green flag. There's Bobby up in the flag stand. He is waving that thing. Green flag racing here at Oxford Plains.
And it's going to be interesting to see. There's going to be, they are given some tires that they can change today. But I have a feeling a lot of these folks are going to be in conserve mode on these opening laps. Starting to try to get into the single file formation right here. John Peters, another driver that used to call Maine home and lives in North Carolina now, but running in that second spot. And as you can see, you can kind of tell he is running a bit of a conservative approach right now, letting Messer kind of pull ahead, and kind of feels like he's holding up last week's winner Parent right now.
Yeah, there you see Parent right on the back bumper of the 09 car of John Peters. John West Davis right in behind the number 21 car. Did get confirmation he has run, that is Spencer Davis, and he has run Oxford a couple of times. DK, Dylan Kopech over there in the Facebook chat, spotted for him a couple of times, so pretty cool. And he's actually saying, speaking of spotting, DK spotting over from the Vane TV spotter stand, because that's a real thing. He says he could have fooled him. He thinks this is Corey's first time here.
I thought Corey ran a pass race once, but I don't know. I could stand corrected. One driver that we saw have a good qualifying run that's not up there though is Jason Ricker. He's way back in the field, starting 25th. I thought we saw him in the top of the pylon, but look for him to move up through the field as well. He's another one that's run that's been around Oxford Plains Speedway many times. Especially with his job in the Pro All-Star Series. They go to the Oxford several times throughout the season, including the banner event, the Oxford 250 at the end of August every year. So we'll see if he can make up some positions. Maybe it's all part of the strategy, kind of conserving at the moment.
Brian Messer already putting drivers a lap down. That's going to be David Arute in the 75, stuck on that high side, trying to hold on here at this point and be that first car one lap down. Brandon Newhouse down on pit road, missed the start of the race, it appears. So score that number 3 of Brandon Newhouse, P28 right now as they run. Ryan Messer out front. We got Brent Patterson hanging out in the Facebook chat. He's rooting for Ryan Messer. He's tuned in from New Brunswick, Canada. So we're live all over the place. We're live in America, live in Canada, live all over the world. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. If you got some stories about a driver that we're able to share on the air, that's a big asterisk, because we know that race car drivers like to party, and there ain't no party like an NEP party, because an NEP party don't stop. So we understand that there's some stories we can't share, but definitely we're always willing to talk about these guys. If you know, you've got a little story or something we could tell over on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, live all over the place. Give us that like, to subscribe, to share. If you're in hanging out in the garage or the shop or the living room, pull us up on the big screen, man. If you got a smart TV, pull up that YouTube app. Do a quick search for Vane TV Live, and you'll get that crystal clear picture right up in your face. And you'll be able to tune in live, and you'll be able to take a peek at Ryan Messer crossing the stripe here. Going to lead another lap here as we work lap number 14. Peters and Parent right now, the top 3 as the caution flag flies for the very first time.
Yeah, we had 15, well, almost 15 quick laps, 14 to be exact. So let's see what happened here. We see, looks like Brian Shipp doing a little racing at the beach, it looks like, kind of. And we're going to see what happened here in a moment to that number 48.
Yeah, we'll take a peek here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Up on that, what was it, the Angels Highway in the 48 car, trying to make that high, wide, and handsome line work. Barely kisses the wall, gets just a little bit too hot to trot, and well, now he's Angels in the outfield for Brian Shipp in the 48.
Yeah, maybe he heard us talking about it, says, I'm going to give this a try, but you got to kind of perfect it. But, you know, he's going to get another chance here when we go back to green. I don't think there's much damage on that car, and we'll be ready to go. I don't think we're going to see any pit stops this early in the event, but we shall see. And it looks like that's David Arute that's going to get his lap back in the number 75. I believe he's run a modified at Oxford before. I believe I've seen him down at the Oxford 250 weekend a couple times. His home track was where we were last week at Stafford. So I think that puts all the cars on the racetrack back on the lead lap. Austin Belkey's in the pits. Brian Shipp did lose a lap in the process, and unfortunately Brandon Newhouse, it seems like he might have had either an early issue or decided to start and park it this week.
We'll see if we can maybe dial up the leader here in the points and in the race here. Ryan Messer, Paul Strickland up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, Ryan, you're having a solid run here tonight. Led a bunch of laps, came in as the points leader, just a couple of points over Kenny Kibbe. What do you got for him out there?
I think we got a good piece. It's just got to try to keep the wheels under. This track seems to be hard on tires today. We only got one extra set to work with, so we can keep the tires under it for the end. I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely, and we got a couple of fans out in the stands rooting for you on the Facebook chat. Brent Peterson says hello. Anybody else out there that you might want to say hi to before we go green?
Oh, I'm sure my family and friends are all watching there. They usually watch these races, so let's give a shout out to them, and hopefully we can get it done.
Time to get back to work. Going green next time by. Good luck, Ryan.
Thanks.
Ryan Messer in the number 1 car, doing a solid job here tonight. There goes the safety, the pace car. He's going to go down to the safety of the infield. Green flag flies once again. The first restart of the night. And John Peters, well, he thought he had something for him on the outside, but Aaron, it looks like he's just going to tuck right into the tire tracks for right now.
Yeah, again, I think it's the conservative approach. If you talk about being conservative and being right there near the end, John Peters is usually one of them. But he's had some struggles this year. Last week we saw that he had a great run going, and it kind of unraveled pretty quickly. So anything can happen, and especially on these short tracks. We saw that especially with Ryan Libby racing for the lead last week, and right now he's racing under Spencer Davis for 5th. I'm sorry, John West Davis, and we've got a single file towards the front now, but we've got a second caution coming out as well.
Yeah, taking a quick peek at the notes here. It looks like it might be Adam Henry. We'll pull up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, see what we get here. There's that 62 car crossing the stripe, everything A-OK. There's the incident up in front. Dale Glessner down on the bottom side, and a couple of drivers, there you see the 62 getting involved, the 26 there involved as well. We'll see if we can take a peek at the number 10 of Dale Glessner, not quite having the run that he wanted to have here this evening in that 10 car, but like I said, we'll back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. We'll take a peek at it. We know these guys have been here a time or two at this racetrack. They know this is one of the most prestigious races here in NEP history because we've got a lot of drivers that run the Oxford Plains racetrack in real life. So they want to do everything they can to try and get up there. They see the 21 checking up a little bit. The 10 checks up, and the 78 apparently has nowhere to go. Gets up into the back bumper. You can see everybody kind of scatters 3-4 wide throughout the racetrack. There was 3-7s scattered across the screen, but it looks like everybody was able to get away scot-free. So definitely good news there. I see what race officials were doing, trying to avoid calamity, but that could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
Yeah, most certainly. But a rough start so far for the Pennsylvania drivers. Pretty much Ryan Shipp bringing out the first yellow, but we saw him going around. He's going to get the free pass and get back on the lead lap. But Dale Glessner involved in that one, Colby Burkholder, and I'm forgetting the other one that was involved already. But we were talking about Adam Henry. That's right. All of them from Pennsylvania. So coming up to Maine and having a little bit of fits and struggles to begin with, but race is still young. We still got 125 laps to go, and we're doubling up for green next time by.
Indeed, we are, and the numbers starting to pick up just a little bit as word's getting out that NEP night in America is alive and well. 25 laps into this one. You made mention, Aaron, 125 laps left to go in this one. We've already seen some pretty fantastic racing if you're just joining us, like Racy Lacey jumping on in. She was on the phone with her mom, so she had to jump in a little bit late, missed the start of the race, but welcome, hanging out in the chat for Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. We're all live all over the place. Going to try and keep up with the chat. We've got some upgrades here in the studio where things are starting to get a little bit easier to manage, and we're going to be working on the studio here a little bit later on, and we might actually stream some Call of Duty later on over on Twitch, so stay tuned for that. There goes pace car down to the safety of pit road once again. Messer down to the bottom. Peters on the high side. Green, green, green.
Yeah, and a slow start there for Reagan Parent in the third spot. Kind of bottles everyone up, but it looks like everyone's able to keep going, and Ryan Libby has capitalized on that and moved into third. On the outside, that's a very different paint scheme for Kenny Kibbe. Kind of threw me off a little bit in that pink ride, and we're going to see if he can make this outside work for him as this week the number 14 of Kenny Kibbe. We got a couple 14s in the field. He's riding that outside and doing a good job. We got another one doing that. I think that was Cody LeBlanc doing a good job inside the top 10 as well.
Yeah, there you see Johnny Miller. Haven't talked about him all night so far here tonight. Hanging out in the top 10, bottom half of it, and that 6 car running pretty good on the bottom side. Car looks relatively clean. You can see the 07 car there, or the 7NH rather, of Cody LeBlanc, biggest mover here of the race so far in the positive direction in any sense, has gained himself 11 spots on the field. And You made mention that 9-car Jason Ricker qualified very, very well, up on that front row, on the pole even. But he dropped back. It almost looks like he missed the start of the race, which is why we saw those drivers sit on pit road for a long, extended time before we took the green. And he's got his work cut out for him. He's made his way up to the 20th spot, gained himself a couple of spots on the racetrack, but still a long ways to go if he's going to get back up here to battle it out with Messer and Peters up front. And, well, this gaggle of race cars that's kind of duking it out for the top 5.
Yeah, a lot of battling, a lot more than I expected going on right now. As you see, Ryan Libby's now going to try the outside. And once again, this track really allows for the multi-groove racing. Kind of looks a bit tight there, even though there's no walls in the corners. But as you get going, you can kind of tell it is a fun place. If you've never been to Oxford Plains Speedway, it's a place where it's super fun to watch. As you can see from behind the wheel of Ryan Libby's number 46, that these guys are having a good time, I'm sure.
Indeed, they are. Quick on board with Ryan Libby, the all-white everything, as the caution flag comes out. Johnny Miller may have got himself a little bit of an off-track incident in that 6-car. It looks like he went climbing the mountain there. So he backs that car back up and grabs him a gear and gets moving once again. So we'll back that up real quick, take a peek at it. Looks like he might have got a little help in that 6 car as we back up to U-House Racing Designs instant replay. There's the side-by-side battle. Corey Casagrande, Dale Glessner in behind, and Corey says, I'm not going to be the guy that climbs the hill, Johnny. You're going to be the guy that climbs the hill. And that video got passed around from the last time we were here at NEP of Corey Casagrande shooting the moon there in the infield, hitting one of those jumps. And Johnny got to the bottom of it, almost got launched into the stratosphere, but he hit the brakes, gathered that 6-car back up before he was able to get any damage. And no harm, no foul for the 6 of Johnny Miller.
No, not at all. And yeah, we got to protect those light poles, even though we're racing during the day. You don't want a power outage going on. But we have a few takers on pit road early in this event. I didn't really think we were going to see anyone down until later in maybe the second half of the race. But we saw Regan Parent, Spencer Davis also on pit road. Looked like a 2-tire stop from the looks of it. And yeah, we're going to see have these guys going to have to work their way back up through the field from the back of the field, but we've seen that's something you might be capable of doing here at Oxford Plains is picking up positions and getting to the front. So we see the 24 Austin Belke on the racetrack. I believe he just got his lap back. So we're going to keep going here and keep riding around.
Indeed, we look like fuel only for Parent and 2 tires for Spencer Davis. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if, in fact, that's going to play a factor into this one. 39 laps, check that 40 as they cross the stripe into this one. And again, we want to thank you for tuning in. NEPs Night in America, baby, and parts of Canada here on Vidane TV, covering Season 5 here of the NEP series, put together and presented by U-House Racing Designs, jumping on as the new title sponsor for the NEP series here on Thursday nights. And you can see we're at Oxford for the Oxford 150, easy for me to say. Built by Corey. Yep, everything was built by Corey. Built by Casagrande Builders. You can see I spilled a little bit of a drink on my notes, so a lot of the stuff that I'm supposed to say is kind of smudged. So we're just kind of winging it. We're doing it live, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing once again here on Vidane TV. Messer and Peters for the restart. How many times have we said that in the past, Aaron?
Quite a few, and both of them are getting off to these great restarts too today, and they're not really giving that second row any chance at getting to them, but we're going immediately back under yellow.
Indeed we are. We can see a cone pointed in the wrong direction there, so we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. It's very odd that we see the cone pointed in the wrong direction, but we'll see if we can pull up a little U-House Racing Designs instant replay here on the restarts, and don't see anybody pointed in the wrong direction. Jeffrey Brown is and was off the pace. So what we're going to do is we're going to back this up one more time. There you see he had himself a little bit of a lump. Look, did you just see the pace car do that? Like,
I think so.
Am I mistaken?
You shall see here.
We'll give it to you in real time. Focus in on the 27 because we know he found one of those hills down the bottom. He went a little high, wide, and handsome and tried to fix it, and it didn't quite work. And I want to see what the heck the pace car doing.
I think it just pulled in, and then it was like, all right, I got to go back out again, and didn't anticipate we had the pace car run into the launch.
Huh. Neat. Dear iRacing, we found a bug.
They just want to be like Corey. That's
what it
all
is.
that's about.
They saw how much traction Corey picked up with that video from last week. RSAL TV putting it together. They see Mike Hopkins getting back on the lead lap as he gets on around. You know what? Let's see if we can dial up Mikey. We tried talking to him last night. He was in a bit of a mood, but we'll see if we can dial him up here tonight. One of the Icon Racing drivers here. Live TV, just bear with me for a moment as we try and get that sorted out. Yeah, we tried talking to this guy last night, but he was in a bit of a mood. No, he's not quite here. If we push the right button, we might be able to talk to him here as we get ready to go green. Mikey, what do you got for him back on the lead lap here in the 78 car? Yeah, Mikey's wireless headset might have come unplugged, but they're getting ready to go back to work in any sense. Lights are off in the iRacing pace car. They're lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, and with Hopkins coming back on the lead lap, that's 24 of 28 starters back on the lead lap. And Aaron, what that tells me, there's 24 cats out there that could win this race. There's still better than 100 laps to go as we take the green.
Yeah, potentially, and you never know when you can get back on the lead lap here. We have Ryan Messer and John Peters battling up front once again. Corey Casagrande lost a lap, or according to scoring, and I know he said he was going to kind of pull a Matt Hirschman strategy and kind of ride in the back and then wait to pounce later in the race. But you had to stay on the lead lap in order to do that, so he's going to have to get the free pass here if there's another yellow coming back out here shortly. But right now, Ryan Messer pulling ahead again once again over John Peters. Ryan Libby really pressuring Peters now.
And there you see the gap, 3, almost 4 tenths. There you see it, 4.5 tenths of a second, Messer to Peters. And the front 4, 5 cars have kind of gotten themselves kind of single file. There you see that 14 car, one of the too many, quote unquote, 14 cars in the field here tonight. Stuck on the high side, trying to make that magic happen up there, but not quite able to make the ground up. Brent Roy going to make the magic happen down on the bottom side. He's going to kick that door open and see if he can move his spot up and try and get himself just a little bit closer to that top 5.
Yeah, and also outside the top 5, you see Zane Farrell in the other 14. Ooh, getting a little bit of a nudge there from, I think that was Cody LeBlanc. And Farrell is usually the one that we see in the flashy number 14. He's got the kind of standard red and black one right now, and he's going to try to pressure Brent Roy here in the 26 and maybe get around the other 14 of Kenny Kibbe as Kibbe's riding it out there on that outside line.
Yeah, and you can see that front 6 car pack is kind of broken away just a little bit. Front 5, rather, as Dale Glester holding on to that 5th spot. And Steve Daddio up in there in 4th. Ryan Libby in 3rd. John Peters, Ryan Messer, the top 5. And it's still side by side here for 6. Brent Roy down the bottom side. Kenny Kibbe is up in the mix as well. Zane Farrell getting a little bit racy in that 14 car. He's holding on to 8th right now. He's got Cody LeBlanc up in the mix. DJ Girard, the top 10 as they run. Jeffrey Bradley, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders in that 13 ride. He's still a part of this discussion just outside the top 10. You can see he's all over the back bumper of the 0, who's all over the back bumper of LeBlanc.
Yeah, DJ Girard's having a great run right now inside the top 10 and trying to maneuver his way even further up to the field in that sharp-looking number 0. And right now, though, it's some good side-by-side racing, but we're still in the early stages. Drivers just trying to see what their cars got right now, what adjustments they might need to make when they come down pit road eventually, if they come down pit road. I know a couple were discussing that they might try to just make it the whole 150 laps and conserve. But it sounded like from our interview with Ryan Messer earlier that tires are going to might be a necessity with the way they're wearing on these late model stock cars. So we're going to see what happens here. We're nearing halfway, getting ever closer to that, but it's still Messer, Peters, and Libby, the front 3.
And as they kind of get single filed out, I've got one of those long-winded stories, so we're probably getting ready to see a quick caution here at Oxford, in the Oxford 150, presented by and built by Casagrande Builders up in Stafford Spring, Connecticut. But we got one of those questions from the chat. Freddie Bannister wants to know, say, Paul, question for you, buddy. Who's your pick to win the Royal Rumble this year? He's going with CM Punk. And we can kind of segue into this because last week with NEP, we were at Stafford Motor Speedway, and that racetrack has been kind of coined in New England as quote-unquote steel cage racing. So that's a pretty good segue, I think, into wrestling. I think it's allowed that we're able to take a wrestling question here under Green Flag Racing. And I tell you, I don't know who's going to win it, but I hope it's the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And I say that because years ago when he did the wine collaboration with Stephen Amell with Knocking Point Wines, I bought his wine, I drank it, it was delicious. But it came with some American Nightmare Cody Rhodes socks, and I'm hoping that if he wins the big one, if he wins the championship, if he finishes the story, and he wins the biggest championship that his father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, was never able to win, I'm hoping I might be able to sell those socks for a couple $100 and get a couple more monitors here if it ain't HQ. So that's our pick here if it ain't TV. Well, that's my pick anyway to win the Royal Rumble.
Well, I'm going to leave all the wrestling expertise to you. It's almost always racing all the time for me, and that's what we got going on the track right now. The front three are still pretty bunched up here. They're going to catch a couple slower cars here to potentially put them a lap down. That's Jeff Brown in the 27. You usually see him around Oxford Plains Speedway with camera in hand, and you know, when he was getting that car right in the right direction, he might have gotten that camera out of the passenger seat to get a shot of that pace car having the wild ride in reaction to him bringing out the yellow earlier. So right now he's going to be fighting. He's actually a few laps down now. He's trying to stay on the well, it looks like he's going to move out of the way for the leaders. That's exactly what I did when I was doing some indoor karting last night. Once the leaders were approaching me, I'm going to get out of the way and not ruin someone's day. So totally respectable move right there by Jeff Brown as Messer continues to lead the way. We're 7 laps away from halfway.
Yeah, a little
6 laps.
Triple threat action up towards the front. Messer versus Peters versus Libby on lap number 69. Nice. And with that, the karts last week, you got a little banged up. I appreciate you showing up to work hurt this evening.
Yeah, I was doing some karting with some of the Colwickie Driver Development Program finalists that they're having their banquet tonight down in Charlotte. That's why Larry Max, I don't think he's joining us because he's actually one of the speakers at that banquet tonight. So he's not here to give us the trends. But the Colwickie Driver Development Program champion this year was Max Cookson, who actually calls Oxford Plains Speedway his home track.
And a couple of guys that have been here a couple of times, Messer and Peters, and I believe Libby as well, up in the top 4. But man, these top 3 have really kind of checked out, and Peters is starting to show in that he's a little racy. He's a little hungry in that 09 car, running a limited schedule here in a Season 5 in NEP. Knew he was going to miss a couple of races getting into this one, so trying to rack off as many wins as he can in the 09 car as the caution flag flies once again. And iRacing, we got to do something about that pace car driver. He scared me there.
He's really struggling with that access off of pit road. We might want to set up that car somewhere else, but let's see what happened here. Trying to get a view. Oh, someone got turned. I think that's Scott McDonald, and he keeps it off the wall, though. So that's the good news for the number 44. We haven't talked about him all night, and unfortunately, that's when we get to talk about him.
Yeah, well, Scott McDonald had a spin. E-I-E-I-O. You can see everything looks good. He gets down to the apron, loses the back end just a little bit. TJ Girard tried to get down on the bottom side to take advantage and didn't quite get there. But holy cow, Aaron, pit road is a busy spot. Half the field has come down, and they're already down on the way trying to stay out on the lead lap. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick up who did what on pit road, but holy cow, there's a lot of drivers coming down there.
Yeah, and they're all struggling with the pit exit too as well. It's a very interesting pit road. It's such a small track that you see some of them that have started further back in the field are on that kind of access road a little further towards the back there. So some interesting entry and exits when it comes to pit road here at Oxford Plains Speedway. It's not really set up for live pit stops, but they make it happen. and we've made it happen right now. A few drivers, though, towards the front decided we're not going to come down right now. Ryan Messer, John Peters both stay out. Brent Roy in third. Regan Parent already pitted, and he's going to be back up to fourth. Jason Ricker fifth. And how about David Arute? He's going to restart in sixth.
How about that? Everybody getting joined back up with the pace car. Adam Henry going to give up a top 10 spot. He's going to come down pit road. He's going to come down an empty pit road this time. I don't think he wanted to deal with all of that calamity and nonsense. There's a lot going on down there, as Lacey says in the Facebook chat. The pace car is unhinged, and we saw a little bit of unhinged there from some of the drivers trying to figure out how to navigate the pit road here. A little bit of a split once you get over 20 cars at Oxford. We get it. It's a small racetrack, but holy cow, the chaos here, it throws us off guard just a little bit. But in any sense, just a little bit. Working lap 77, just a couple of laps past the halfway marker. That iRacing pace car has shut the lights off one mo again. We're getting ready to go green flag racing at Oxford here on a Thursday night on Verdane TV, and it's the same thing we've seen all night long. The one of Ryan Messer down on the bottom side, the 09 of John Peters, reigning defending champion, three-time series champion. Well, not defending champion. Ryan Libby got it last year, but three-time season champion John Peters up on the high side. He's been at Oxford a couple of times in real life, a couple of times in the sim racing world, and we use that term a couple of times loosely. We know John Peters is from up around that racetrack and calls this racetrack home, trying to get himself a victory. Green flag flies once again. Again, another phenomenal restart. May as well just put the VHS restart Oxford tape in, because Messer got it and John Peters stuck right into the tire track.
Yeah, they're once again masters of those restarts once again. But Brent Roy running in third, trying to keep those Canadians in contention, along with Ryan Messer. Yeah, they often come down to Oxford and are threatened, but we've got a multi-car incident happening right in front of you right now.
Indeed, we do. The all-white everything. The 46 of Ryan Libby out into the marbles, as it were. The 26 car rather of Belkey involved in that one as well. So we'll back up the U-House Racing Design instant replay. Oop, I think we just backed that up like precaution. So we're gonna try this button. See if this button works. This ain't Farrell. He's involved in the calamity as well. We'll back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. And man, with this racetrack being so small, there's really not a lot of room to pass, and there's really not a lot of room to wreck.
No, not at all. Once something happens, it can get pretty treacherous, and we're going to see it happen right here. It's Austin Belkey, Zane Farrell, and it's a chain reaction from then on. And Farrell's Toyota facing the wrong way. The way that Toyota looks on that late model stock, it kind of looks like one of those old goodies dash cars, the old Celicas, even though that's not a Celica, obviously. But the number 14 just giving the 24 just a little touch. Didn't anticipate that. And a little bumper car action going on behind him.
Yeah, you saw the 78 of Hopkins get a piece of it as well. Everybody else able to kind of part the seas, as it were. The 24 going to come down to the backstretch pit road, I guess. Still not sure how the pit road works here at Oxford Plains, but Belkey apparently has it figured out. He's going to come down, get some of that virtual damage taken care of, get some tires put on that thing as well. But it's still Messer and Peters up front. Brett Roy in third. Ricker back up to fourth. Parent back up to fifth.
Yeah, for sure. And Daddio, we haven't talked much about Stephen Daddio, but he's been right there in the mix. He rides in sixth right now. Arute in seventh. Johnny Miller back up to eighth. Mike Hopkins and Spencer John West Davis running in 10th, and the number 21 getting back up there after an early pit stop.
So under caution here tonight, so you can see these drivers are antsy. They want to get back to racing already. The lights are still on the iRacing pace car, but still trying to get everything sorted out, and we'll see if we get the one to go this time by, and indeed we do. So they're going to line up for realsies this time at 2x2 all the way through. Messer on the bottom, Peters on top. It has been the restart battle for the ages here at Oxford. Ricker, Roy, and Parent the top 5. Daddio, Arute, Miller, Hopkins, and Davis the top 10 as we get ready to take the restart here on a lap number 86. How about that? 86. Shout out to James Gutta as we take the green flag once again. Messer gets shot out of a canyon down to the bottom side. Even before he is clear, John Peters turns that steering wheel left. He knows he's got no time, but he's going to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to hold on to second right now, and You can already see he is on the bottom of the racetrack. He's just waiting for Messer to open that door for him.
Don't look now. You got Jason Ricker on the outside, just making that line run really smoothly. And he's going to move into the third spot potentially here. Brent Roy fighting back, though. And Jason Ricker going to try to keep the... he wants to keep this victory inside the state here in Maine. Is it Pine Tree State? If I remember. Is that what Maine's state name is? But right now he's going to file back into fourth for the time being. Regan Parent running in fifth. He's got some pressure from Steven Daddio. Daddio is actually going to move inside and take the spot.
Yeah, Daddio came up and said, nah, dude, soft wash, no pressure. This 99 sliding on in to that top 5 spot. Regan Parent back in to 6. Johnny Miller right in behind there. He's got a mirror full of Hopkins. The 78 car having a solid run here at Oxford Plains, up 5 spots from where he qualified. Got into some calamity earlier on, but still having a solid top 10 run of it. Spencer Davis in his return to the NEP series. We made mention, I believe, first start here for the 21 car this season. Oh, there he goes. Well, that's what we get for talking about him. Caution flag flies, and Davis is around.
Yeah, not just Davis, Mike Hopkins involved in 78, and a few others going through the beach and the sand and the gravel here. As you see a lot of tire tracks tonight in that area.
Indeed, we do, and we'll see. We've seen the kind of 10th place on back. It's been a little bit of calamity all the way around the racetrack. These guys know that this is one of the biggest racetracks that NEP runs here because there's so much history. There you can see Davis just kind of gets in there a little too hot to trot. Backs are off. Everything looks good. The 78 of Hopkins, oh, he gets up to Miller, has to check up real quick. Spencer Davis nowhere to go, and calamity ensues and behind. So that's a tough break for a couple of drivers that were kind of battling it out up just outside the top 10, but they're going to have to potentially come down pit road, maybe get some damage taken care of, maybe even get some tires put on that thing. As you see I believe that's DJ Girard in the 00 car going to go around. He's going to rejoin the lead lap.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over here, for sure, at Oxford, especially with the number of yellows we've had. We've had quite a few here in this second stage of the race. We're actually nearing lap 100 already. And once again, still Ryan Messer and John Peters up front. They have decided we're not coming down pit road yet. And we're going to double up once again. So right now, they're able to kind of hold their own at the moment. And I guess we're not doubling up. We kind of saw this last yellow flag period too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to write to iRacing and figure out what's going on with the pace car driver here at Oxford Plains. But there you see everybody getting lined up 2 by 2, potentially this time when they cross the line. Maybe we'll see. We'll get the thumbs up from the pace car driver after he shuts off the lights. That's how good the communication is here at the Bedane TV broadcast booth. But in any sense, working a lap number 95 here, 55 laps to go at Oxford Plains. This is one of the pinnacles of the NEP series. This is one of the home tracks where a lot of drivers really utilize the racetrack. They call this racetrack home. They try to get up to the Oxford 250. I know you and I, Aaron, were talking before we came on the air here this evening. The Oxford 250 in 2024 gonna be one of the races that you and I both try to get to this year.
Yeah, for sure. I've been over at the Oxford 250 a few times here, and it's a great time. I suggest anyone goes and checks it out. It's definitely a bucket list destination, and here we go once again. Same old story out front. Ryan Messer and John Peters clearing the rest of the field, and Peters has given Messer a little bit of pressure this time.
Peters is getting a bit racy indeed, and one of the cool things here with the iRacing world and with the sim racing broadcasting that we do, we get to call out the moves that we see on the racetrack, and I was really excited to be able to call it out last week as it happened, and I honestly think it might have even been Peters in one of the races last week that I was able to call it out, but the TC3 bump, and Aaron, I know you know what I'm talking about. Teddy Christopher used to do it all the time. He'd bump you once to let him know that he was there. He'd bump you twice to say, hey man, I'm faster. And if you're there and he bumps you the third time, see ya. He's coming on around. John Peters is hungry, very aggressive, very clean driver that we've seen in the 09 car, but he is hungry. He wants to come home with that checkered flag here in the Casagrande Builders 150 here at Oxford Plains, and he is all over the back bumper of that one car, the points leader, Ryan Messer.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like he's just kind of hit the on switch. We kind of suspected he was conserving earlier, and now we see John Miller back in the this is kind of deja vu too. I thought we saw him in that spot earlier too.
We might have. We definitely may have. We'll back up the U-House Racing Design instant replay. You can see a little onboard shot as we rewind the tapes. Kind of pointed in the wrong direction. There you see Zane Farrell in there, the other 14 car in the mix, Reagan Parent there as well. So everybody kind of checks up just a little bit. LeBlanc gets into the back bumper of the 6. Corey Casagrande gets into the back bumper of him. They kind of shove each other into each other. And Johnny Miller, unfortunately, the odd man out in that number 6 car. He's going to go up into the beach and grab a gear. He's gonna whip that thing around and kind of tail whip the wall, get some more damage on that thing, and you can see he's gonna come down pit road here, and he's not alone. Ricker's gonna come down. Peter's gonna give up the lead. He's gonna come down, get some fuel. Ryan Messer down here as well. We made mention Johnny Miller is down here in the 6 car. David Arute in the 75. Going to grab himself some tires. Scott McDonald, he's going to get some tires on the 44 ride. And as all this is happening, we're going to come around the racetrack for lap 105 under caution, and Daddy-O's going to take over the lead.
Yeah, a lot of shuffling going on here. And this is going to set up quite the interesting 45 or so lap dash to the finish and see who can shuffle their way back to the front. And some new names now in that top 5. Steve Daddio up front. Zane Farrell in second. The first time we're going to see a restart without Messer and Peters up front. Regan Parent riding in third. Kenny Kibbe fourth. Those might be a couple drivers to look out for. And Bobby Shipp running in fifth right now, having a great run.
And that's a dangerous combination to have, especially when you get some drivers up towards the front that may or may not be all that comfortable with the restarts, with the spotlight right on them. And oh, by the way, those guys that were having those phenomenal restarts up towards the front, well, they came down pit road and they got some tires and they got a little bit of the damage repaired. So they're going to be a little bit quicker on some of these restarts. So it's going to be something that we're really going to have to keep an eye on here in the late goings of this one.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really interested to see how this restart goes. I don't know if it's going to set up for another quick yellow, but hopefully we'll have some good green flag racing and make these other drivers work for it here and see what happens. As we're getting ready for green, it's now Daddio and Farrell on the front row.
Green flag flies. Barney in the flag stand waving it with all of his might up in that flag stand. Daddio going to get the restart that he needed. How about Parent down the bottom side? He's going to get underneath Zane Farrell and try and take that second position.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like he's thought he was going to be successful, but Farrell's kind of charging back there on the outside. Kenny Kibbe trying to follow through as well, and right now it's between Parent and Kibbe for third, and a little bit of bumping behind them, but they were all keeping their cars straight for the time being. Corey Casagrande now back in the mix, and a lot going on here.
Aaron, there is a lot of bumping going on. Oh, there they go. Peter's involved. We stay green. But holy cow, we're like 8 wide here at Oxford Plains. We kept it green here on lap 109.
Wow, that was a very close one there. But we're staying green, and Daddio and Farrell still up front. Peters has a lot of ground to make up now, and moving up through the pack is the 21 of Spencer Davis. He's up to 6th spot, and he's going to now set his sights on a top 5 position. Evan Boyer riding in the 56. He's been quiet this whole race, and there he is in the 5th spot, battling with Cody LeBlanc for the 4th position.
Indeed, we have, and apparently the video feed wanted to die out on us, so we'll get that all sorted out here and get that rejoined here for you. And we apologize for the inconvenience. We'll get that sorted out here, but man, oh man, it's been a great race so far here at Oxford Plains. 150 laps on the docket, down to the final 50 as we're ready to crown ourselves a winner here in the Oxford 150 as we get the video feed sorted all back out here. It's one of those deals, man. It's live TV, and unfortunately, when you get these racetracks at the or the race cars at the racetrack, Aaron, sometimes you have some electrical failures and some electrical woes, and well, you know what? Every once in a while with live TV, you get those same woes. So we'll get that all sorted out here. But so far, been a pretty phenomenal race here at Oxford.
Yeah, for sure. And like you were talking about with those woes, we see it in real life. I think you and I saw it firsthand when we were in Florida for a little bit, and a few weeks ago, with the website going out while we're in the middle of a live broadcast. So actually, I probably saw it more than you did. You might have heard it in your ear while you were still just filming away on the camera. So, but yeah, we'll get things going here shortly as. When we left you, it was Stephen Daddio leading over Zane Farrell, Kenny Kibbe, Cody LeBlanc, and Evan Boyer.
And we had a handful of drivers come down pit road to get themselves a little bit of service. Couple of 2-tire stops. We didn't really see too many 4-tire stops, as it takes too much time under caution to put 4 tires on these cars. So it's a real tough scenario to kind of work that out. You want to try and get 4 tires on that car if you can. But if you're able to at least get 2 tires, especially on that right side, you'll be able to kind of get a little bit of momentum here at Oxford Plains. And we talked to a lot of these drivers here before we came on the air, before we took the green flag. You can have some quick lap times. You can have yourself a really good run under green flag, especially a long green flag run, but you're really going to burn up that right rear tire if you try and stay quick all evening long here, and less than 40 laps to go, trying to get that video feed sorted all out. Looks like everything is just about back to normal, so we'll get back to racing conditions here and get you back updated. But you made mention we had similar problems down at the Freedom Factory, you and I working for Pit Road TV and getting that on the air, and man, pretty cool. I got the confirmation email a couple of days ago. I'll be down in Daytona for Christmas Eve, so the main thing with that, yes, I will in fact be working, but the main thing is I'm going to be looking for a New Year's Eve party somewhere around Daytona if anybody knows anybody.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty going on down there. But we're rejoining the video feed coming back in here, and we're under yellow. And we didn't miss too many laps. It looks like we're getting ready to go back to green. And we have 20, if my math would work, 31 laps to go right now. It's Daddio and Farrell still on the front row, so it doesn't look like we've missed a ton.
And Daddio Farrell up front. That's going to be a restart for the ages. There goes the 99 car. Green flag flies here. 30 laps to go at Oxford Plains. He's got a couple of 14 cars in behind him. Kenny Kibbe and I believe that's a pink and blue cotton candy Mountain Dew ride that's now in the second position. But that 14 car is digging. Evan Boyer, where the heck did he come from? He's up in the 4th position. They're side by side for 5th between Davis and LeBlanc as they get in to the corner.
And Boyer's another one of those Oxford Plains Speedway's veterans. So not really a surprise to see him up there. But we see John Peters in trouble. That is something we're not used to.
Oh, Metzer gets a piece of the action as well. The 81 involved. Peters is still getting tossed around like a ragdoll in the 09 car. Caution flag number 10 rolls here, and you can see the 09 car finally able to almost get that thing pointed in the right direction. But man, oh man, calamity ensues here in the late goings of this one. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs instant replay and find out what the heck went on. And you can see we're 2x2 all the way through the field, focusing on that 09 car because he really got the brunt of this one. Little contact between Ricker and Gerard in the 9 and the 0. They sort it all out. There's the 92 up top, or the 26 rather, up top. And I don't know about that one. That might have been a little bit of net code. DJ Gerard into the back bumper of the 09 car, but it looked like there was a bit of space there. We'll take a look at it one more time here. We'll switch cameras just a little bit. It's one of those things with the iRacing world. You can sometimes get right up to the back bumper, and I think there was a little bit of room there. So that might have been a little bit of net code around DJ Gerard into the back of that 09 of Peters, and you can see that's going to bring 3 cars up on the outside wall. Peters going to come down. Adams gets involved in the 62. Messer got a good piece of that action as well. They're shipping the O'Flark car. He's going to go down on the low side. He gets down and around, but man, oh man, tough break for Peters. Limited schedule here in Season 5 for NEP. Down on pit road, going to probably lose a lap in the 09 car if he hasn't already, and indeed he has. So Not the night that Peters was looking for in the 09 car late in the going of this one.
No, not at all. And yeah, I think he's. I think that's pretty much done. Stick a fork in him. He's done tonight. Not the run he wanted to have at his past home track, or one of his past home tracks. And tough break for John Peters. He's really hit. He's really hit a couple bad races here, but we know when sometimes he like that he'll hit his stride. But now we see a different car on the outside front row when we go back to green. That's a different 14, Kenny Kibbe, and he's been making that outside line work. We could see potentially a challenge up here on the front row here once the green comes out. So we're going to have less than 24 laps to go.
Yeah, there are a slew of 14 cars in this race, and there's a couple of them up in that top 5. As you can see, Daddy are going to take the point after a podium finish last week at Stafford Speedway, doing himself a little steel cage racing, and he's right where he needs to be. He's going to get the restart with 23 laps to go in the catbird seat as the leader. Kenny Kibbe there on the outside in that 14 Mountain Dew ride. Bollier, Farrell, LeBlanc, the top 5 as they take the restart, and there they go. Barney in the flag stand waving that green flag, and there you see Daddy-O in the 99, able to take away just a little bit, able to clear the 14 car, and they're starting to pull away in that Daddy-O ride.
Yes, Stephen Daddy-O having a great run right now, and he's had a couple great runs as of late. Was last year's runner-up in the points, and he wants to move up one more spot in the standings this year. So he's really making a good run here in the 99. See a little bit of interesting action there going on in the middle of the pack, but we're staying under green, and we're going to be inside 20 laps to go very soon.
And Bobby Schiff down in the pit road there. Caution flag flies once again. There's a lot of stuff going on here at Oxford, especially with 25 laps to go. We get word that Mike Hopkins around in the 78 car, so we'll take a peek here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. There's Brent Roy down on the bottom side, and well, Brent kind of gave him a little bit of a bump ski, and Parent gave Brent a little bit of a bump ski, so it sent both of those cars on and around, but it could have been a whole lot worse. As you can see, they gather it back up, they point it in the right direction, and they grab themselves a gear and get back up into the field. And as we get the restart here with, we'll probably get it with about 16 laps to go. Looking, Johnny Miller in the 6 car, rather, going to get his lap back. So that should give us 16 cars on the lead lap here at Oxford with just a handful to go. It's just going to get squirrely pretty quick.
Squirrely is a good way to describe it. I think that's what we were describing earlier too, and it's just like real life Oxford 250, Oxford Plains Speedway. You never know where to look, and especially when it comes to the Oxford 250. There, Paul, when they start the Oxford 250, they usually start anywhere from 40 to 44 super late models for the main event. So, if you can imagine 28 cars on the track here, not knowing where to look, imagine that many. So right now, though, back up front, we got Stephen Daddy-O and Zane Farrell was actually running in second once the yellow came out. So he will line up in the outside front row once again. And then it'll be Kenny Kibbe and Evan Bollier in row number 2. I don't think we've seen the last of Evan Bollier or even Spencer Davis running in 5th.
And you can see 17 laps to go, lining them up 2 by 2. Lights still on the iRacing pace car. So going to give these guys a little bit of an opportunity to kind of sort it out. And it gives us an opportunity to maybe talk to one of these top 5 drivers. Zane Farrell in the 14 car. Oh, yeah, he's up in the top 5. Man, Zane, what are you doing there, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm in a peculiar position right now. I've never been up this far here.
Looking pretty sporty as the lights go off, getting ready to go back to work. What do you got for him?
I don't know. We're going to try to rip the top and take the lead.
That's what it's all about. Getting ready to go back to work in the 14 car. Zane Farrell, good luck as we get ready to take the green flag once again. And Zane restarting from the outside of the front row versus Daddy-O with 15 laps to go at Oxford. You can't set that up any better. But I did. Get him on down out of there. And the 14 cars are side by side for second. Kibbe going to take advantage of that bottom side, though. Farrell up on the high side. Bollier there as well. How about Davis down on the bottom side of the 21 car as we take the caution once again?
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Cody LeBlanc maybe in the 7. It's hard to tell because all these cars have battle damage. And
It might have been Hopkins this time around. You know what? It looks like the 78 car might have lost a motor in that 78 car of Hopkins around the outside, coming to the caution. Everything looking A-okay here. I don't see anybody pointed in the wrong direction, so
I do see some dust.
I see dust. But I mean, here at Oxford, man, that could be anything.
That's for sure.
Well, it gives us an opportunity to kind of collectively catch our breath here in the booth and here out in the interwebs, live all over the place at Vidane TV. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're live all over the place. We're live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. We're live on all over the internet. We're trying to take over here at Vidane TV, especially as we get into 2024. We're trying to keep in touch with all the different chats that we got going on here as well. Trying to stay as interactive as we can in any sense. Keith Lord, one of those spotters here, runs the NEP series. Could have been an easy win here tonight, as it looks, but missing the race here tonight. Tuning in on Vidane TV, and we made mention that we've got our virtual merchandise hauler set up as well. www.vidane.net. Just added ourselves a couple of different t-shirts in there. We've got Vidane TV beanies. They got the little pom-poms on the top of them. Keep your dome piece nice and warm. We've got the new Vidane TV Christmas light hooded sweatshirts up there as well. So if you were looking, Aaron, to get yourselves a best dressed ugly sweater at the ugly sweater party, you can get yourself a Vidane TV hooded sweatshirt. I think that's pretty fair, right?
That sounds fair to me. I could use an ugly sweater. I got to get to a party. I got to find a party now. You were talking about finding a New Year's Eve party in Daytona Beach. I got to find a Christmas party to wear one of those too. So, we're all working when we're not talking about the races.
But I mean, honestly, if you're not talking about the races, then where the heck are you at? As the pace car shuts those lights off on the pace car, lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Daddy O'Kibbe up front with 10 laps to go. Farrell, Bollier, and Davis, the top 5 as they run. Green flag flies once again here at the virtual Oxford Plains Speedway.
Yeah, and Daddy-O jumping out to the lead once again. Kibbe going to take second, potentially, from Zane Farrell. What's interesting about that outside line is once you think you've got it, the guy from the inside comes fighting back. And this time Kibbe barely able to clear the other 14. And they're battling for fourth behind him. Spencer Davis and Evan Bollier battling for position. And side by side all over this field with only 7 laps remaining.
Yeah, Daddy-O's checked out. He's doing everything he can to get away from the calamity in his rear view. He's got a half a second lead over Kibbe in second. Farrell there holding on to third. Spencer Davis in fourth, but for how long? Here comes Bollier on the high side, trying to make everything work in that 56 car as we take the cross the start-finish line, and we get that high five from Barney up in the flag stands. 5 laps to go in the Oxford 150 built by Casagrande Builders.
Yeah, Davis still able to stay out into that 4th position. He's really got his work cut out for him, keeping these guys behind him and also catching Zane Farrell for 3rd spot. But he's been one of the few that I've been noticing is just been able to use that inside line and just be completely smooth through those corners pretty much every lap. And right now, he's kind of ready to pounce if anything happens between these front 3. As 2nd and 3rd, they've caught Stephen Daddy-O. It's going to come down to the wire here.
Indeed, they have. Hopkins and Libby both down on pit road, done for the evening. We stay clean, we stay green. Daddy-O out front, but for how long as we come across the line? Popsicle sticks, 2 laps to go here at Oxford. Daddy-O out front, being chased by Kibbe, Farrell, and Davis.
Yeah, here we go. Getting ready. Coming down to the wire. Kenny Kibbe waiting to set up something that he can do here as the white flag comes out. Kibbe's going to look to the outside. He's going to need a little bit more of a run than that, I think, though. Stephen Daddy-O trying to keep his car a little wide there, and you see some charging going on behind them for 4th, but Stephen Daddy-O is going to take the checkered flag.
Big wreck as they come to the line. I believe that was Kletzner that
Yeah.
that kind of went up there to say hello to Barney up in the flag stand. But my oh my, Steve Daddio coming home with the victory. Kenny Kibbe in second. How about Zane Farrell finishing third for the first time this season? Reagan Parent and Spencer Davis in his return going to round out the top 5, and Daddio already burning them down here. And well, we're going to have to back up and take a peek at the preemptive burnout from the 99, and we're going to talk to those top 3 finishers here, Aaron, at the post race. But let's take a look at the finishing order here. Great race here at Oxford Plains. Daddio, Kibbe, Farrell, the top 3 we made mention. We're going to talk to them in the post race show here. But Reagan Parent and Spencer Davis in his return, rounding out the top 5. Solid run here at Oxford Plains.
Oh, for sure. And there we see Evan Bollier, Brent Roy, Ryan Messer, Corey Casagrande getting the top 10 finish. And Austin Belkey, also a couple drivers that we saw struggle earlier, rounding out the top 10. As you see further down the pylon, Dale Glessner with that hard hit. I think he wrecked before crossing that start-finish line, and that relegated him to a 15th place finish.
There you see right in behind him, Dan Winter in 16th. Scott McDonald, Bobby Shipp kind of rounding out the top 15 or top 18 as it were. And we take a look at the rest of the field here, kind of trapped a lap or 2 down, but lots of calamity throughout the evening here this evening. And well, we talked to the 3rd place finisher here earlier on tonight, and we get to talk to the 3rd place finisher once again, Zane Farrell. I think this is the first time you and I have spoke here on a post-race show, at least this season. Great run here tonight, coming home 3rd.
Yeah, car was good. I definitely wasn't feeling pretty good after the qualifying lap, but I just kind of rode around the whole race and just didn't really put too much wheel into it. Try not to slide the nose, burn the right rear up, but it was good. It was good for the first 75 laps. Came in, pitted, took my right sides and filled her up to make it to the end. And I kind of babied it a little bit, and I feel bad I got in the back of Austin, but it's kind of hard when, guys in front, you got no tires and you got 2 tires, it's always going to prevail. And I just got on the gas a little bit earlier than he did and just kind of looped him around. So sorry to him.
Yeah, tough break. Lots of calamity as kind of one of the prestigious tracks here in the NEP series. A lot of drivers call this racetrack their home in the real racing world. And getting into this one, 150 laps on the docket. Did you have any kind of strategy getting into this one?
Nah, I just wanted to ride around. I wanted to see how it all played out. Definitely rode around too much, but it was still a fun time. This track has always been my kryptonite, and I've never really ran good here. But past 2 seasons we've been here, it's been turning around. But I'm pretty happy with 3rd tonight.
Yeah, kept the shiny side up and the rubbers on the ground and came home with a podium finish here tonight, finishing in 3rd. Who's out there watching on Verdane TV? Who gets you to and from the virtual track?
My mom and dad are watching. I think my wife Lacey's watching. Thanks to them guys. All the sponsors help me out throughout the years. They always get me to the track every week in the real life, but can't thank them enough, though.
Absolutely. And a solid 3rd place run here tonight. Going to hopefully be a decent points night for the 14 team.
Yeah, we've had strung along a couple top 5 finishes here, having good points days. We'll chip away at the lead here and see what we can do.
Absolutely. Zane Farrell coming home in at 3rd here tonight. Congratulations, man. Celebrate.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
Bo Show. Going to slide on up pit road just a little bit further. Aaron, you've caught up with our 2nd place finisher, another guy that's really big in the points, Kenny Kibbe.
And another podium for Kenny. And coming out to Oxford, Maine from Michigan here. A good run for you. It looked like you had that outside line really working for you. I guess they kind of call it the Angels Expressway here at this track. Talk about your run.
Yeah, I mean, this was as good as it could be. I mean, I cannot stand this track, and my results have showed it. I haven't run well here in the past, and but even practice did not go well. I didn't feel good at all, and but then we qualified pretty decent, and I was just gonna ride for a while, and that's pretty much what we did. And then yeah, we had some situations where we got put to the outside, and thankfully the outside was actually pretty decent tonight. And I've had one other occasion at a league race at this place where I was able to really roll the top, and was able to pretty much do that again today, and that helped out a bunch. It made it so I didn't lose too many positions when I was, getting past, and it made me gain some spots. So And then our pit strategy was really good. You know, Steve and I, we both pitted at the right time. Zane did too. He was on the same strategy, and it just worked out. Those other guys that were the leaders, they just pitted too late and couldn't catch us at the end, and they got caught up in some stuff too. But it just all worked out, and I'm shocked, but I'm also really really happy we could come in and get second.
Yeah, and we were talking when Paul was talking about to Zane. He kind of talked about it being a good points day, and it's one for you as well as you look to repeat as the NAP champion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had a couple not so great races, or maybe just one, but overall pretty good start to the season. And this was one of the tracks that I was absolutely dreading coming into. So I actually said I was aiming at a top 10. So the fact that we get second, you know, I'm sure, you know, Steve had low expectations today too, and he gets the win. And even our other teammate Austin recovers for top 10. So great showing for four wide weaponry. I'm sure our boss Ryan Salvatore will be happy while he's on his cruise.
Oh yeah, we don't have our Sal. Hope he's here today. Hopefully he's having a good time. And who helps you get to the racetrack? Who's preparing this new paint team that you had on for this race?
Yeah, totally a mistake. I need to get on my crew, guys. They put the wrong wrap on it. That's from a different league that I run. But good looking car, though. I can thank Matt Chinaski for making that paint for me. But yeah, thanks to you guys at Vidane TV for the broadcasts. Shout out to the four wide weaponry teammates again for just running great and being awesome teammates. YRD Designs, they design the paint that I normally run here in this series. Thanks to him for sponsoring the series. And just thanks everybody, all the drivers that show up and make a nice big field every week.
All right, that's second place finisher tonight, Kenny Kibbe, and you're with the big winner, Paul.
Indeed, I am, and I got to say, if I don't get a picture from RSal TV, if I don't get a picture from Ryan Salvatore of him watching Vidane TV out on international waters, I don't know if we're going to be best friends anymore. But we're going to catch up with our winner here in Victory Lane. Steve Daddio finished second last week, came into tonight fourth in points, and he betters everybody that he's chasing in the points. Brent Roy, Kenny Kibbe, and Ryan Messer. Solid points night, coming home with a victory. That 99 car, no slouch here in points contention. You got to say at this point, Steve, we're going for the championship in the 99, right?
Yeah, that's been the plan the last couple of years now, and I think we're looking good so far.
Yeah, taking a quick peek, the little slow motion burnout here, giving a quick salute to the fans, putting on a show as we like to see here in the iRacing world here on Vidane TV. And did you have any kind of strategy coming into this one? We know that Oxford is a big racetrack here in the NEP crowd. We know it's a prestigious racetrack in the real racing world and the iRacing world. Did you have any kind of strategy getting into this one, or was it just kind of let it play out and kind of play it by ear at that point?
I can tell you it was certainly qualified better. 12th wasn't really anything to to write home about. After that, I think it was really just about taking care of your stuff. Keeping the fender straight and not getting into anybody, and just trying to keep the car for late. Put together for late in the race, and we caught a few cautions, but we caught a caution almost smack in the middle of the race there, and it didn't look like the leaders were going. And I figured if I took a couple right sides and continued on, just taking care of my stuff, we'd have something for them at the end. And then the chips just really started falling in our favor. We were fast. I passed Reagan early on to get into fifth there, but the car was much faster than how I was running it. And I figured with 50 to go, that was going to be my go time. But I kind of just shuffled right to the front with pit strategy and things like that. And then after that, I mean, you could see on takeoff the first couple laps, I was really going for it. And then I think I was overdriving it there for the first few laps. So just trying to keep not burn the tires off and keep her straight and put her in victory lane. I'm a little surprised that we ran the Xfinity 250 here. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but we were bad. We were really, really bad. So I figured this was not going to be a good run. But I'm once again surprised. Again, with Stafford last week and Oxford this week, it sounds like me and this car are match made.
Yeah, looking bad. Never looked so good in the 99 car. Second place last week, little steel cage racing at Stafford Speedway. The victory here at Oxford 150, put together and built by Casagrande Builders. And want to give you an opportunity here, Steve, to thank anybody that gets you to and from the virtual racetrack. Who else is out there watching here live on Verdane TV?
Got to thank my parents, especially my mom. I'm sure she's probably still awake, and my father went to bed, about a half hour ago. Just didn't make it for the finish, I'm sure, but I'll have to break his stones later about that one. My wife, and all my friends out there watching on YouTube and Facebook, it's really nice getting to talk to them about it after the race. Daddy was Auto Parts again, Reverie Brewing out of Newtown, Connecticut, and then I always forget YRD. I got to thank Brandon a lot. The paint looks so sharp on this car, and I really appreciate it. Looks even better in victory lane. So thanks, Brandon. And then my teammates, Four Wide Weaponry. Again, no sell tonight, but we've been kind of talking through the afternoon about what we wanted to do for this race, and just getting prepped and getting our minds right for it. And it looks like it paid off. So thanks to everybody out there watching at home, and thanks to you guys, Paul and Aaron, for doing the broadcast again. It's always fun to watch.
It's always fun to call the action here live on Thursday nights. NEPs night in America and parts of Canada. Steve Daddio coming home with the victory, making it look easy in the 99 car and making that tights battle, Aaron, even tighter than when we came in here tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how all the figures are calculated once Arcel's back from his cruise, and once we're getting back into the next one.
For sure, and taking a couple of days off here at Verdane TV, but the business never stops. We got a lot of stuff going on here in the real world, the real racing world, the sim racing world as well. The next time we're back here on Verdane TV is this coming Tuesday night for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Smashed Potatoes race. It's a figure 8 race. If you want to get in on the action, you absolutely should. Shoot on over to the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page, timscorner.ca. Look for the iRacing link and get yourself lined up. It's pretty much green flag flies, 60 minutes, figure 8 racing, no rules, lots of big names showing up, and lots of drivers going for a chance to race for the showcase, the TCM Showcase, big race here on Verdane TV in March or April. We'll have to check out the schedule as it were, but schedule pretty active all the way through the end of December into January, February, March, and on in through the 2024 calendar year. Check on us out over on the social media outlets. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in the iRacing world, in the real racing world. Made mention a time or two. Yours truly will be going down to Daytona for Kart Week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Going to have to figure out if we can do some production, some iRacing production on the road. So that'll be fun for us here at Verdane TV HQ. Easy enough for me to say, but that's going to wrap things up here for us, for everybody here at Verdane TV and the NEP series presented by U-House Racing Designs. We'll catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we are going to be doing it live.